Hello, welcome to Nana's Journey. I'm Deanna, and today we are going to continue with the Jane Austen 250th anniversary block of the month. This is month 3, and we are doing the Kent blocks. The pattern is available for free on RileyBlakeDesigns.com. I will have the link in the description below, along with other links that you might need. Today, if you've watched my other 2 videos, you know I've got everything prepped. That took a while, but I'm so glad I did it, because now I can just grab this. I've got leaves, my stems, my flower centers. There's the flowers. More leaves, more centers. Okay, now I need to fold some creases in my background to get them ready. Before I do that, I will let you know that I got this Sue Daily glue. I'm going to try that today. I had some Roxanne glue. It was old, and I have a sore tendon in my forearm, and it was really hard to press it out. It hurts, so I'm going to try this. Hopefully it will come out easier, so it won't hurt so much. I also use this needle threader. I will try and remember to put the link for that in the description box below. I do not have the eyesight needed to thread needles, so I have to use this. The threads I'm using are the Aurifil 2847, the Aurifil's 2902. They're all Aurifil. 2410, that's the pink, and that will go with both of those. And 2015. So those are the threads I'm using, and now let's iron our background. Okay, I've ironed it out so there's no wrinkles. And what I'm going to do, last time I did each fold separately. This time I'm just going to fold it in half again, and then in a quarter, and fold in those creases. And I have got all 8 in there. Okay, I am going to mark 8.5 inch square on here. You can take a ruler and mark at 3/4 of an inch on each side. I am just going to take my Tucker Trimmer 3, and here is the, let's put it right side up, 8.5. That is going from corner to corner. This is going to corner to corner. There's the middle where it meets, and that is in the middle. Just going to straighten it out a little better. Okay. And I've got a pencil mark. I want to keep my applique, where'd my, a 1/2 inch away from my pencil mark. That gives me a 1/4 inch for a seam allowance, and a 1/4 inch space between my seam and my applique. So now that my background's prepped, I can put my applique pieces on it. Let me finish the other backgrounds and I'll be right back. Okay, let me just put this together once and make sure everything's here and I know where to put it. And these go this direction. They're going to go down a little because these are going to go slightly above. And then you've got these. Okay, and these are supposed to go right next to the corners in there. I think I'm going to start, well, I'm going to start with the stems. I'll do the leaves last. Let's see, get out my glue. Oh yeah, that comes out way easier. So be careful when squeezing if you have this one. I had to squeeze really hard for the other one. This one you only squeeze a little bit. Okay, and I am going to, that's too much too. Put that on. Then I'm going to put it so that it's about halfway in. I think she's got it a little more than halfway. Yeah, it looks like it's a little more than, only a little bit's poking out, so it's already drying out. And the reason I'm doing this first is because I want to measure a 1/2 inch from the edge. Whoops. And it'll be easier if these are already attached. Okay, I'm going to get my ruler. And put this a 1/2 inch from the edge. Oops. It's not staying. Oops, that doesn't go 1/2 inch. Oops. Put that in the corner, and this reaches, goes along with the crease, goes towards that corner. Okay, I'm going to carefully take this to the iron both the top side and the back side, and I'll be back. Okay, there's block 1 all ironed down and ready to go. Let me prep the other blocks and I'll be back. Okay, now I just have to hand stitch these together. If you want to know how to applique, I will have a link in the description box below. So I will see you when these are done. Okay, I have the Kent blocks done. They are ready to go back in their bag. And I was thinking that for the next 6 months, I'm doing the exact same thing that I did today. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull out my Winchester bag, do those, then show them to you. Then I'll pull out the next one, and I will just post these all at the same time. So it's not going to take as many months as, you know, the schedule. I will be doing the Winchester through the Oxford blocks. They will all be on this video. And then we'll start with the borders. So there is a picture of these. And let me do these. I'm not going to show you the gluing and laying out again because you've just seen it. So I will show you the Winchester blocks when they are finished. Okay, here are the Winchester blocks. They are all finished. And my stitches are not as good as Lori Holt's, but they're excellent for a beginner. I'm pleased with them. So now the Winchester blocks are done. I can put them in their baggie. And next is the Bath blocks. So I've got all the stems, the pieces, and I need to iron the creases in the background. And I want to draw a line where it's going to be trimmed to so that I know what my boundaries are. And I will be back. Okay, these are the ones for Bath separated. I'm not going to have the leaves touching. I'm going to leave them a little separated. Oops. And I put the tips of these a 1/2 inch away from here, and the bottom of the flower 1 1/4 inches away. So from here to here, and from here to here, here to here, and here to here. So that's how I'm going to lay them out. Then I'll glue them down, start stitching, and when they're done, I will be back. Okay, the Bath blocks are all done. And these do take me a while. It takes me 1.5 hours to 2 hours per block. I don't know if that's fast or slow, but I'm just relaxing as I go. So these will go back in the Bath bag. And next is Berkshire. It's like a lot of pieces. I know the London, and there's another one that has a lot of circles in it. I like the ones with a few pieces. So, but I'll get these put together and then I will be back. Okay, the Berkshire blocks are finished. They're all put together. My stitching is getting a little better. So now I can put those back in the Berkshire bag. And next is London. And there is a lot of pieces for this one. This is kind of dreading this one. But we're getting towards the end. We have London, then Southampton, and then Oxford. So let me get started on the London, and I'll be back when it's finished. Okay, I'm ready to put together this London block. And after doing one, I did this one. I thought I'd give you a few tips that I started. I did sew this down first, and I'm going to put that down. The points go north, south, east, west. And I'm going to glue this. Okay, now I'm going to take my 1/2-inch ruler, and I'm going to put this here and there. Okay. And then I don't want to put any glue where the needle's going to go, so I'm just going to put it right under that flap. Oops. Sometimes the glue goes in between the interfacing and the fabric, so I'll have to re-glue it. Okay, now I'm going to take this to the iron, and I'm going to press 3 to 5 seconds on top on each part, and then I'm going to flip it over and give it a good 10-15 second press to dry out the glue. Okay, so now those are done. Now I'm not gluing down the stems, because I found that no matter where I put it, it always spread out to the edge, and that was where my needle needed to go, and it was hard to get it through. So I just hold it in place. I'm going to just pin one in place that I work on, and I'm going to go up and down, come over, up, down, over, up, and down, and do it that way, and I'll just move the pins as I go. So I also shortened all these stems to about 2 1/4 to 2 1/2 inches. I found that I didn't need them so long. As you can see, there's plenty of tail there. There's plenty of tail there. So I didn't need them so long. If you like longer tails and you're more comfortable with that, then by all means keep them the length that she has them. And yeah, these are almost still too long at 2 1/2 inches for me. Maybe not for some people. Also, when you iron these, if you put them face down so that the seams are towards the ironing board or ironing mat or whatever, and then press. Then when you press, you won't have them like opening up or whatever on you. And you do want to starch and press them so that they stay shut and are easier to handle. These ones are almost too long. Oh, I have an extra one. Is this one shorter? Nope. Okay. Now these, I also want about a 1/2 inch from the edge. And then I take one of these, and I'll put it on the same side of each one. And if you have a part of your circle that's like flat right there, put that next to your stem and use it to your advantage. Because my circles are not all completely perfectly round. And I'm going to put this there. Okay. And then I will go through and glue these and iron it the same way I did before. And like I said, I'll just take, the first one I did, I just hand-held the stems. I always do the stems first. I held the stems in place. This time I'm going to try just having 2 small pins right there to hold it in place so that it doesn't, bend. And see how that works. So I'll let you know how that turns out. But that is how I put the London block together, and it has made it easier. I did like shortening those stems. That helped. So I will see you when these are finished. Okay, I have the London block all finished. It was a lot of little pieces. But now those can go in the London bag, and it's time for the Southampton. With Southampton, there's only 2 blocks, but a lot of circles. So this is the Southampton block. Okay, I'm going to try pinning this time instead of gluing. We'll see how that works. Maybe I can keep from getting poked. Also, I didn't, when I made these strips, I didn't cut on the diagonal so that you could have the bendy strips. I cut them all straight. And what I did, these are some of the pieces that I cut off from the other stems because I thought they were too long. These are about 1 inch long. And I'm just going to put them here. And then this one is going to go over, and I'm going to cut about a 1/2 inch off of that one. Well, let's see. And then mine will look something like this. I'm going to do all of those. Also, I measured a 1/2 inch away from the cut line for these. And then for these, I measured in 1 inch and 3/8 of an inch away from the big circle. And then pinned those in place. And then I pinned this down after I centered it. This one, I noticed this petal kind of swings over to the side, so that won't be centered, but that's okay. It won't really show up when you look at the entire quilt. So I'm going to pin these in place. Last time I didn't pin the stems and I kept losing them. So I had to pin them down, which worked fine, which is why I'm going to try pinning this time. So I will be back when I'm done. Okay, I have the Southampton blocks done, and I'm glad there was only 2 because I'm really getting tired of hand stitching. I'm down to the Oxford blocks, which will be on the border. So I'm excited to get these ones done. And these ones should be pretty easy. There's just 5 pieces there. And they are smaller. They're also smaller blocks than the others. So let me get those going and I will be back. I forgot to mention that the last block I used pins instead of glue, and I never got poked. I also have the little short applique pin, so I know that made some difference. So I went ahead and pinned these ones too. So now that I've got all of these done, again, I kept a ½ inch away from my frame, and I just eyeballed the center. So let me get those sewn on, and I'll be back when I'm done. Okay, I have the Oxford ones done, and I am finally done with all of the applique, which I am happy with. That took a long time, and I am going to go back to raw edge applique. I am not going to miss the eye strain or the knotting thread, but I will put those back in the Oxford bag. And for anyone who's interested, the threads that I've used, they're all Aurifil. I used 2410, 2902, 2375, 2847, 1103, 2355, 2785, 210. I can't tell if that's a 3 or a 5, so you'll have to look that up. And 2021. So that is it for all the applique. All that's left to do now is to piece the quilt together. And that will have to wait till the next video. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope something in this video helped you out if you're making it. And I hope to see you next time on Nana's Journey.